What's up, crafty people? It's Rachel here bringing you another amazing member-only video. Today we're going to be working with our paper mandalas. These are layered mandalas that are gorgeous for so many different projects. And today we're not going to be doing a regular mandala project. Today we're actually going to be using only white cardstock and little fairy lights that we're going to paint to show different colors. And we're going to layer it in a beautiful shadow box, and it is going to be gorgeous. I can't wait to get started. So what you're going to need for this project is a poster board, some little fairy lights. I got these off of Amazon in a 6-pack. They're so cute. So I will of course link all of this as well as the written instructions for you guys. We have different colors of paint. So for the mandala we're choosing, we only need 2 different colors of lights. So we're going to do kind of a sunset theme. So we're going to be doing yellow, orange, and pink. And then for another one, we want kind of like a blue sky vibe. So we're going to have blue and give that a little paint of blue. So that's going to be super fun. We also have some paint brushes. We have white cardstock. This is pretty heavy cardstock, so do be aware of that if you choose to do a project like this. You kind of want your cardstock a little bit sturdier, so we've chosen some heavy cardstock. This is maybe like 110 pounds. It's pretty heavy. We have a shadow box here. This one is just from Amazon. It's really well made. It doesn't have any glass in it, which is actually what we want for this project. Just personal preference, so that is what we're going to be using as well. We have foam dots, so this is how we're going to add and separate adhesive with our layers. So we're going to add depth and make sure that they're adhered together with those foam dots. We're going to stack some up and make it super high so that there's really good room in between those layers. We also have our Cricut as well as our mat. Now, mat is super specific. You need to be pretty picky for a project like a mandala, especially a paper mandala. So we have a mat that is standard grip from Cricut that we have used and loved, but it's still kind of sticky, but not very sticky. That's what you want. Also, I've had a lot of success with using brayers on these. Since I do have clammier hands, it's kind of harder for me to smooth out that cardstock super well. So I use a brayer to get in there and really roll that cardstock on there so that there's a lot of good pressure holding it on the mat, but that it can release and come up easily if I want it to as well. Now we also need our hot glue and our hot glue gun. So this is the Lynn Lily that we're using. Again, I'll link that for you. And he is going to be here to glue our fairy lights in between our layers of cardstock. So I can't wait to watch this whole thing to come together. I hope that you enjoy it. Let's go ahead and head over to Design Space and I'll share with you guys how we are going to be kind of changing up this cut file to work with today's project. Alright guys, all I have done is added our mandala in here and sized it to 8 inches. So it comes in around 13 and that's not what we want. We want it to be around 8. And the shadow box that we're using is 8 inches, so that is what we're gonna size this to. So we have this at 8 inches, and as you can see there's only 3 layers and really only 1 layer that's really complicated. So if I make this a little bit smaller, you can see this one is the one that's a little bit complicated. This one is not very complicated and this one is not either. Super simple layers here. So that means it's going to be easy for us to cut. Now we are going to be cutting all of these out of white cardstock. So just to help us out, I'm going to change all of these to white. This is going to help me remember everything I need to remember. So here's how it's going to look. It's going to look super cute with those lights. We're going to click Make It. And we're just going to go ahead and cut this out. Now, again, we're using pretty heavy cardstock, and the trick for this is to put it on not just the heavy cardstock setting, but the craft board setting. So this is the setting we're going to be using today. You can leave that on default pressure, or you can give it more pressure, whatever you'd like to do. Just make sure you have a good fresh blade in your machine as well. So here's a piece of our cardstock, and this is the top of left of the mat, but it's actually way less sticky up here. So I'm going to turn my mat upside down and use this top left corner. You can totally do that. And now I'm going to get my brayer and use it. It helps a lot, so I love using that. And then we're going to go ahead and let all of our layers cut. Make sure you're keeping an eye on this so that it's cutting well. This first one's gonna be easy, the second one's gonna be easy, and then the third one is gonna be the most detailed. So if you want to go ahead and cut that third one out first, just so you can kind of like get it out of the way, feel free to do that. But go ahead and cut all of your mats out. Okay guys, so we have all of our pieces cut, and I have some craft board down just so you guys can see, because I know it's white on white. So it's gonna be super cute. I can't wait to see how it turns out. It's gonna be layered up and be adorable. So now we're gonna set all this stuff to the side, and now we're gonna work on painting our lights. So the lights come in a little pack like this, and when you open them up, then they look like this. It's a super easy process, and they have these itty bitty protected bulbs, I would say every 5 inches. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be using 2 of these little light strings, and if I can turn them on, you might be able to see it a little bit better. You can see where all the little lights are. We're gonna be painting all of that. So we're gonna go in with our blue here. Now again, we're gonna have 2 strands of this, and on one strand, it's gonna be yellow, pink, orange, yellow, pink, orange, yellow, pink, orange, so on and so forth. But for one of these, we just need it all to be blue. So that's what we're gonna be doing today, taking this and painting them all blue. I'm gonna take this, paint it. Take this, paint it. Add some more paint on your brush whenever you need. The key here is not to put the paint on so thick that you can't see the light through it, because of course that's the whole point. We wanna color these lights to be able to have the color shine through them. So continue to do this, and it really doesn't matter if they kind of like fall on the, you know, on the paper or anything. We do have a poster board, a piece of poster board on this table here that's protecting our surface. So it's totally fine if they kind of get knocked around a little bit as they're drying. The coverage doesn't have to be exceptional. It just needs to be there. So go ahead and continue to color these. Now I will say, when this project was developed, I was supposed to actually use Sharpies, guys. I was supposed to just color them. However, that did not work. Not even a little bit. Maybe like a black, dark brown color would work. Maybe like a dark red. But these types of colors would not work at all. And this is the types of colors that we needed. And we know that we're all crafters, and we all have paint in our craft rooms. So go get paint. If you don't have any, you can spend just a couple bucks getting some cheap paint somewhere and then doing this project. But it is going to be so super cute once we're done. So that's all for the blue. You can wipe off your paintbrush, go ahead and wash it. And I just use the paint from the cap, as you can see. It's kind of a little hack. So if you take your bottle of paint and you shake it up, which you need to, and then you can open up the top, and over right there in the cap is a ton of paint that you can use. So that's what we do. And so that's all for the blue one again, guys. And then you'll just take orange, pink, and yellow, and then you'll do the other strand, 1 orange, 1 pink, 1 yellow, 1 orange, 1 pink, 1 yellow, and so on and so forth. And that's going to be super cute. So go ahead and paint all of these and allow these to dry. They don't need a ton of time to dry, but just go ahead and make sure that they're not like super wet when you go and use them, because you don't want to get anything like that on your white paper. So go ahead and do that and allow those to dry for a couple hours, and we will be back. I have pre-painted these and allowed these to dry so that we can continue through in our craft. Now this is the back, so we are actually not going to be adding lights to this directly, but we are going to be adding lights to the back of both of these. So what we're going to do first is start with this fella, and we're going to go ahead and first make sure that this is how we want it. Super cute. So I'm going to lay this over. Now I'm going to turn this over to where it's the back, and this is the one where we want a sunset. So with our lights, as you can see, we're going to start by gluing the battery pack. Now we're going to glue it to one of the edges here, and that is going to be easy for us because we want to be able to get in here, or at least get a tool in here to turn these on or turn these off. So I'm going to go and add some hot glue, just like that. And then turn it over and add it right where we want it, just like so. And as you can see, this battery pack's pretty thick, and we're gonna want a lot of room in between our layers, so that's really, really good to have there. So now, guys, is the fun part. We get to bring our lights all around this fella. We're going to start in little sections. I have my hot glue gun here. We're going to start in little sections, gluing down our cord, because this cord does have a couple of inches where there are no lights, and we want to kind of go ahead and get rid of that and get that out of our way. So we're going to add a little dot of glue there and allow that to dry and continue this process all the way around. We're just going to be stringing it on random parts. We do want to make sure that we can leave some areas where our foam squares can go, so do be mindful of that. Do the same thing right here. And guys, this is pretty repetitive. Go ahead and do this all with your extra cord, and then we'll see you in just a bit. Okay guys, now that that is all taken care of, we're just going to go through here and glue down our wire. This is going to be easier than you think because these little wires don't require very much glue at all. So just add a little dollop and allow it to dry a little bit, and then start wrapping it around again. Just a little bit of hot glue will do. And it's good that this is wire because it does really well at kind of molding to where you want it to go and things like that. And through this process, you can turn the lights on if you want to, if you think that that will help. And then again, we're just going to go through and add a little bit of glue. It doesn't have to be super strategic. As you can see, I added some glue here and then none at all until here. You could have added a little bit here, whatever you want to do. Just make sure you're a little bit patient in allowing it to dry in between your strands, because it's super easy for this to peel up and pull up your wire with you if you haven't had an opportunity for it to properly cool. So I do want to mention this as well. So if we go around in a circle, you can see that it's going to start getting a pattern of orange here and pink here and yellow here. So I want to break that pattern. So I'm going to bring our lights up and I'm going to place it up here in the corner. And this is going to make sure that we don't have too many of the same colors connecting or being too close. So I'm going to go ahead and let that dry, and then now we have an orange and a pink here close to each other, which is great. And then I'm probably going to like scooch this yellow up. We want to make sure we're going to cover a lot of area with our lights too. You don't want there to be places on here with no lights at all, little areas, so do be careful about that. And like I mentioned, I'm going to twirl that yellow up and get a strand of yellow right here. And as you guys can see, there's no perfect rhyme or reason. The whole point of this is that you're going to want these lights to glow in beautiful colors from behind each of these layers. So that is kind of the goal in mind with what we're doing here. Another thing to note is that you do need some of the lights to be closer to the edge, as that is probably the clearest view that you will have from the edges of this project. So do keep that in mind as you decide where you want all your little lights to go. Just make sure some are really highlighted on the edges. And guys, as for our last little light, I think we're going to have him go right there. So we'll just add some hot glue. And these strands go faster than you think, but this is pretty much the perfect amount of lights that we need for a project like this. So I highly recommend these little guys. They're super, super cute. Okay guys, now that we have this one done, we can go ahead and turn those lights off and set it to the side. And here is our other one, and this is where we're going to string lights on this time. So we're going to flip this over, and we have our blue lights that we're working with this time. So we're going to place this down. I'm actually going to place it on the opposite side as my other one because I really want this to balance well together. So I'm going to take some hot glue and add our battery pack. And again, if you want to add the lights on, you totally can if you think it might help you. And now, just like we did before, we're going to wrap our string up and get him glued down so we don't have to worry about him. and repeat the exact same process as the other one. You can go into the little clouds if you want to. That would be a great idea to do for this one. So feel free to have fun with it and just repeat the same process as your other one. All right, guys, I'm about to glue down my last one. This is looking absolutely phenomenal. I love the way that this is turning out. I will mention, guys, at this point, if you like the way it looks, that's awesome. If you don't and you want to add more lights, feel free to do that. You will just have to be aware you'll need some more surface area for your battery pack. So definitely be careful and try and map it out in your head as much as you can how you're gonna like it. But this is how it looks. It looks super, super cute. We gotta take care of all those hot glue gun strings that I'm seeing. But this is such a cute project. I can't wait to see how it looks all put together. So that is what we will do next. Okay, guys, we have our base right down here. Now we're gonna flip this over and we're gonna grab our foam squares. Now again, we're going to be layering these. So I'm going to layer one. And I'm going to peel that off. And layer two. And again, going to peel that off to expose the sticky. And three. Okay, perfect. And now, guys, I'm actually going to put one on our battery pack as well so that it will be sticky for us. Remove that. Perfect. And now it might cover up a light or two, but try and not let that happen. So I'm going to try and place these strategically around here where there are not lights. And again, I've tried to make it to where I didn't waste any lights on areas I was going to put foam squares. So that definitely does help. And then again, remove that to expose the sticky. And now we're going to do one more up here. And guys, I want to go ahead and apologize again. I know there's a lot of white on here, so it looks like a lot of white on white. I do apologize for that. But this project is going to come together shortly and be super, super cute. Okay, so we have all those layers on there, and now it's up to us to lay it down. So make sure you line it up with your base and lay it right on there. And guys, that looks fantastic. You can see all the dimension there. And now we're going to do the same thing with this layer. So we're going to add all of our foam squares that we can. Okay, and now we're going to lay this onto our base, just like we did that other layer, lining it up and laying it down. And there you have it, guys. All that's left to do is to place it inside of our shadow box. Well, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this amazing layered shadow box that has some really cool lights in between the layers. It's so cute. I can't wait to see how you make yours, guys. Be sure to post pictures in the Facebook group, and I'm sure you can probably imagine this, but because these cameras are so blown out and our lights are so bright, you pretty much can't see very much about this. So Miss Becca is going to be taking some amazing photos of this in the dark that I can't wait for you guys to see. I hope you enjoy those. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and catch me again in another member-only video. Bye!